Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros. I talk about politics, sports, and entertainment to keep you well rounded. What's going on around the world? If you don't like hearing the truth, definitely don't tune into this channel. So let's get started today. This weekend was the weekend of retarded athletes. First, Conor McGregor, he decides to knock out some young kid in a club. This kid worked at the club. He wasn't just some guy that was drunk and might have got on Conor's nerves. From all reports, the kid has never had an issue with anybody while he was working. And then the video shows Connor appears just to be a piece of garbage and punch the kid in the face for absolutely no reason. You know, this isn't like taking a punch from a normal person. This is a trained professional fighter. At this point, Conor McGregor just needs to spend some time in jail just for being a piece of garbage. Let's jump into the video and go from there. You know, it's also being reported that Connor goes here all the time, and he has relationships with the club owners. So nobody's going to make me think that he wasn't getting his ass kissed the entire time and just acted like the complete asshole that he is, because that's what he is. Hey, Connor, instead of acting like a tough guy with some 19-year-old kid trying to make a living, why don't you fight Michael Chandler? Why don't you get in the UFC cage again? You know why? Because you're a drunk drug addict idiot that really needs to spend some time in jail. I hope this kid sues you for about 10 or 20 million dollars, and I hope he gets every penny, because at this point you absolutely deserve it. So then it comes out that Jon Jones retired over the weekend, and everybody was kind of surprised and shocked. They thought it was because, he didn't want to fight anymore. He was ducking Tom Aspinall. And then the truth comes out. Jon Jones was drunk in a car. He got in a car accident. He drove into a ditch. There was a woman in the car who was naked from the waist down, who was unconscious on drugs, and Jon Jones took off and left her for dead. I mean, this is just the weekend of retarded athletes. And this is what Jon Jones does. He's another guy that needs to spend some time in jail, and then maybe he'll finally get it. See, it's one thing if these guys are hurting themselves, but they're hurting other innocent people. I don't want to hear about the girl was drunk. She wasn't driving the car. He was driving the car. At what point do you say to yourself, man, I'm a millionaire. Let me get her an Uber. Let me get her a taxi. Let me be smart for once in my life. But no, that's not what Jon Jones does. And it'll always be some stupid excuse. And God forbid the girl died. It wouldn't be John's fault. It would be everybody else's fault, just like Conor McGregor. I'm over both of these two morons. I really hope both of them retire so I don't have to see their faces again. Tom Aspinall absolutely called it. He said he will retire Jon Jones without actually him fighting him. And that's because Jon Jones knows how well Tom Aspinall moves for a heavyweight and has absolute devastating power, that he's super skilled, that he's not the typical, brawler heavyweight, that he's skilled like Jon Jones and real fluent. So let's listen to Tom Aspinall tell us
I will
himself.
retire Jon Jones without even fighting him. That's something that I said. I will retire Jon Jones with.
This was done like a year or two ago. So Pac-Man Jones, ex-NFL player, another punk. He's been a punk his entire life. He was also involved in a strip club shooting that left a man paralyzed. See, it's like you got millions of dollars, you got fame, you got a great job, and it's just not good enough. And that's why I call you a punk. That's why you're just a piece of garbage. See, it was the weekend of retarded athletes. He goes into a bar. They tell him you can't take the wine glass Of course, he thinks the rules don't apply to him, and then he assaults people and he acts up, and then he gets arrested, and then I'm sure it's everybody else's fault. So let's jump into this video.
He stopped Jones trying to leave the bar with a glass of wine.
Pushed me a little bit. So as his arm was coming back from my chest, I
Such a
grabbed
tough
it.
guy.
It's like, listen, man, the wine glass has to stay up here. You can kill it, but it's got to stay here. And then he shot me in the throat.
This is video showing the incident as it unfolded. In a second clip, Jones and his friends appear to attempt to re-enter the bar, but are stopped on the stairs.
What am I on the tank for? I'm asking, what are you locking me up for?
For possible assault, dude. No,
Me?
I
ain't touched nobody.
Stop yelling, dude. We're not doing it. Turn around.
Officers eventually say they are arresting Jones for alcohol intoxication and disorderly conduct.
The car, nigga, you was right there.
Bro, stop.
Bro, touch me
You're
again,
making this worse for you, dude.
Just talk to him, 'cause he's
Goodness gracious.
Bro, don't grab my wrist, bro.
The video shows Jones being placed in the back of a cruiser before being taken to the Kenton County Jail. While being detained, police say he also assaulted the arresting officer by intentionally throwing his elbow upwards and hitting the officer in his lip. Jones appeared before a judge a few days after the altercation, and court documents show he is currently out on a $10,000 bond.
Are you really surprised? He was a total piece of shit his entire time in the NFL. So this should not come to a surprise to anybody if you know who this clown is. You know, do you think he cares for 1 second about the guy that he got? He got a man paralyzed in a strip club because he didn't want to leave a strip club. And his friend shot the guy for absolutely no reason. And he was suspended an entire year of an NFL season. He's a piece of garbage. He's been a piece of garbage his entire life. I'm calling this segment the weekend of the retarded athlete because that's what these guys are. They got millions of dollars, they have everything they want, and they just can't be decent human beings. Obviously, you saw from the videos, nobody's bothering them, nobody's treating them with disrespect, whether it's Connor, Pac-Man, or Jon Jones. They just think that the laws and the rules don't apply to them. And then when things go wrong, it's everybody else's fault. I hope all three of these pieces of garbage go to jail for a period of time because they absolutely deserve it. Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros.